The memes will continue until the government reopens. That was the message that J.D. Vance had for Hakeem Jeffries when he stopped by the White House press briefing yesterday. J.D. Vance stopped by, not Hakeem Jeffries.
So the president's been posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer.
I saw
recently. You've said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that. Now,
if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. I just love that this is our domestic policy here in the United States of America. Hakeem Jeffries is so upset about the memes that Donald Trump has been posting, that he's been going out and talking to every single camera, calling the president a racist, calling him childish, calling him angry, calling him mean. But at the end of the day, look, you want the memes to stop, reopen the government and drop these ridiculous demands that you have, and stop keeping the government hostage, stop hijacking the American people. And J.D. Vance was very, very well versed in what's been going on. He's been part of this procedure and negotiation since day one. And that's why Caroline Leavitt invited him into the White House press briefing room to discuss exactly what's been happening, exactly why the Democrats have chosen to shut down the government.
About illegal alien benefits. Look, the text is very clear. And I even saw, I think it was George Stephanopoulos in an interview with Mike Johnson, did a fact check that was totally rooted in baseless claims. It was basically Democrat propaganda. If you look at the legislative text that they gave us, they tried to turn on two separate provisions that would give health care benefits to illegal aliens. Number one, if you're an American citizen, you've been to a hospital in the last few years, you probably noticed that wait times are especially large, and very often somebody who's there in the emergency room waiting is an illegal alien, very often a person who can't even speak English. Why do those people get health care benefits at hospitals paid for by American citizens? The answer is a decision made by the Biden administration that the Trump administration, working with congressional Republicans, undid. We turned off that money spigot to health care funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats, in their legislative text, want to turn it back on. That's one thing. The second thing, Matt, is we all know that there are various ways in which the Biden administration waived away illegal immigration status. They gave parolees, they gave asylum claims to people who weren't really claiming asylum. And when they waved the magic wand of amnesty, giving millions of people legal status, even though they were in the country illegally, they also gave those people access to health care benefits. So what the Democrats are engaging in is a sleight of hand. They're saying, no. Those weren't illegal aliens who were getting health care benefits, even though everybody, knows they were in the country illegally. It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us. And all you have to do is understand that this is about who benefits. We think the American people's government ought to benefit American citizens. The Democrats are willing to shut it down to benefit illegal aliens. The contrast couldn't be more clear.
I mean, look, J.D. Vance gets it. I don't know why the Democrats don't get it. J.D. Vance gets it. I don't know why it's so hard for these 45 congressional or senatorial Democrats to think about it and go, yeah, you know what? We are lying. Yeah, we are pushing propaganda. Yeah, what Joe Biden did, didn't really make any sense, and we should probably keep the government open. Sure, there are things that we need to get done. Sure, there are things that we want to do. Sure, we want to negotiate in good faith with this White House and with the Speaker of the House and with, the John Thune, the majority leader. We want to work with the government for the benefit of our constituents, but we're not going to do that. We're going to kick and scream and throw a fit and lie about what we want and what you want and what you're doing and what we're doing, and we're trying to take a clean CR and turn it into $1 trillion benefits package for non-American illegal aliens. J.D. Vance explained it pretty well there. Also, though, there's more going on than what meets the eye. It's not just about illegal immigrants. It's not just about health care for illegal immigrants. In fact, that's not really why we're here at all. The reason why we're here is because Chuck Schumer is spineless. And J.D. Vance had no problem standing there in the White House press briefing room in front of God and everybody, calling him out.
So let me make one final point. I think a lot of Americans are asking themselves, why did this happen? Why did the Democrats shut down the government despite, as Caroline said, voting on the exact same piece of legislation 6 months ago? And there are a lot of different spins that we can put on it, a lot of different answers that we could give, all of them true. One answer I already gave is that they want to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. That is true. They gave us legislative text that would have undone us cutting off health care benefits for illegal aliens. That's one of the things that they asked for. But the reality here, and let's be honest about the politics, is that Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far-left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge. So I'd invite Chuck Schumer to join the moderate Democrats and 52 Senate Republicans, do the right thing, open up the people's government, and then let's fix health care policy for the American people.
Chuck Schumer is scared of a girl. And that is why. That is the reason why the government is shut down. Chuck Schumer is scared of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And as a result, we have to shut down our government, not pay our troops. We have to make cuts, drastic cuts, and not just layoffs or not just furloughs. We're talking about reduction in forces, RIFs, as they're called. And that's something that Donald Trump said, look, you know what? If the Democrats are going to force the government to shut down, we're going to take full advantage of it. He posted on Truth Social. Republicans must use this opportunity of Democrat forced closure to clear out deadwood, waste, and fraud. Billions of dollars can be saved. Make America great again. He's never professed anything but this position. He said for weeks, if the Democrats shut down the government, if the Democrats don't come to the table and negotiate in good faith, if the Democrats don't vote on the clean CR to fund the government for the next 7 weeks while we finish the appropriations process, if that's the case, fine. We will not waste that opportunity. We will hack away at government, and it's already started. Russ Vought has a plan. He's got the clock ticking, and he is making massive moves. In fact, the White House, let me show you this. They are using everything at their disposal to politicize this whole debate against the Democrats. Look at the out of office reply here for the White House press office. If you write to the White House press office today, here's what you're going to get. Due to staff shortages resulting from the Democrat shutdown, the typical 24/7 monitoring of this press inbox may experience delays. We ask for your patience as our staff work to field your requests in a timely manner. As you await a response, please remember this could have been avoided if the Democrats voted for the clean continuing resolution to keep the government open. The press office cannot accommodate waives, requests, or escorts at this time. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So Donald Trump, every little branch of his government, every aspect of his administration, taking full advantage of reaming the Democrats, and then going into to utilize, like we said, this as a shutdown and a budget cutting opportunity. And JD Vance talked about that too, because they asked him, they said, look, are you really going to do this? Are there going to be rifts? Are there going to be reductions in forces? And JD Vance said, we have no choice.
We want to do everything that we can to help the American people, but when the Democrats shut down the government, we have to actually do a little triage to make sure the most critical and most essential services are provided. The government does a lot of things. Of course, Republicans think that the federal government probably does too much, but there are a lot of critical things the federal government does that absolutely all of us would agree need to do. Our troops need to get paid. Our air traffic controllers need to make sure that people are flying safely and on time. We need low-income people to be able to access the food services that are provided by the federal government. There are critical things that need to be saved. We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need, despite the fact that Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to be perfect because we are in a government shutdown. We are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
And that's basically the long and the short of it. If you don't fund the government, then we're going to run out of funds. And if we run out of funds, we can't pay for everything. And we're going to look at everything and say, all right, what do we really need? Do we really need the IRS? Nah, let's defund them first. Do we really need all of these essential services? Nah. We could probably take a pickaxe to some of these programs that money's been appropriated for. In fact, that's exactly what's already happening. And guess where it's happening? In blue states. The New York Times writes, White House uses shutdown to maximize pain and punish political foes. The Trump administration forged ahead with plans to conduct mass layoffs as the fiscal standoff appeared to intensify. The Trump administration took steps on Wednesday to maximize the pain of the government shutdown, halting billions of dollars in funds for Democratic-led states while readying a plan to lay off potentially droves of civil servants immediately. The moves by the White House appeared both unprecedented and punitive, underscoring the risks of a fiscal stalemate that had no end in sight. It also evinced how President Trump might try to leverage the government-wide closure to achieve his agenda, slash the budget, and exact revenge on his political enemies. In a series of social media posts, Russell T. Vogt, the White House budget director, said the administration had paused or moved to cancel the delivery of about $26 billion in previously approved funds across a range of programs, describing the money as wasteful or in need of further review. This is my favorite part right here. In a second instance, the Trump administration paused about $18 billion in approved infrastructure funding for two major transportation projects, primarily in New York City, whose state delegations includes Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader, and Representative Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader. So Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are out there lying about President Donald Trump. They're out there lying about the Republicans. They're out there holding the entire country hostage. Chuck Schumer is holding the country hostage so he can retain what little bit of political power he has left. And Hakeem Jeffries is mad about sombrero memes. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is saying, look, FAFO, if you're going to do what you're going to do, then we're going to make sure that your state is first on the chopping block. And that is going to, man, if Chuck Schumer thought that AOC was a primary threat before, just wait until the people of New York realize that they're being targeted by the White House with cuts and reduction in spending. That should really get them new leadership at the top of the heap before too long. And look, the leadership across the aisle is bad. It's all bad. The politics in the Democrat Party is these people, they don't know how to negotiate. They overstep their boundaries. And the worst part is they just don't care about Americans. They only care about illegal criminal aliens.
The entire Democratic Party, the political leadership, not every Democrat nationwide, but the political leadership of their party has got it into their heads that the only way to be compassionate is to be compassionate to illegal aliens rather than American citizens. If you go back to what Bill Clinton was saying, even Barack Obama in some cases, what he was saying about illegal immigration 10, 15, 20 years ago, you would put them on the MAGA right based purely on their rhetoric around illegal immigration. So I don't know why they've gone so far to the left. I think it's bad for the country. I think it's bad for them politically. But our principle, all I can do is speak for the president that I serve and the country, the administration that I serve right now. We believe that the American people's government exists for the American people. That means the people who have the legal right to be here, and that's why we're fighting to reopen the government. And unfortunately, the Democrats are fighting to shut it down for the benefit of illegal aliens.
And the memes will continue until the government reopens. That's the message that J.D. Vance wants to send to every single Democrat. Now, as we saw, there were three Democrats, or rather two Democrats and one independent, Angus King from Maine, who caucuses from the Democrats, but technically is an independent. There were three non-Republican votes that came across the aisle, and that leaves only five remaining. Rand Paul, who is a Republican, but basically a libertarian, would never vote for a continuing resolution at all, especially one that doesn't come with budget offsets. So he didn't vote for this one, which means five Democrats need to come over. Now, I imagine that when word of cuts across these blue states start getting back to the blue states, I imagine that when the Democrat electorate realizes that they've been lied to by their own political party and that the Republicans have been telling the truth about what the Democrats are demanding, I imagine that in, I don't know, states like Oregon and even California and, places like Massachusetts, there are going to be a lot of hardworking Americans who are not at all happy that the Democrats are trying to send their hard-earned tax dollars to illegal immigrants. And as a result, American military men and women, servicemen and women, are not getting paid. I imagine when that happens, we're going to see way more than three Democrats voting with Republicans. Those five extra votes should peel off pretty quickly. But if they don't, It doesn't matter. Donald Trump, Russ Vought, the rest of his administration, they'll keep slashing pricing. They'll keep slashing the expenditures. They're going to cut the programs. The layoffs are going to continue, as will the memes. We're going to be following this story all day long. We do have, of course, our second daily podcast, which we bring to you live every day at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch us on our streaming platforms, or if you prefer, you can download it on our podcast platforms. Just go to markkaye.com, MarkKaye.com, markkaye.com. Click the big red button that says, I want the podcast. Download, subscribe, listen, and enjoy.